guys, I hope you like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter and eBay. Stay to the end of this video for some inflation numbers that will blow your mind. Today we've left the garage for a walk in the woods. I wanted to show you guys something interesting. This is an old family cemetery. So from my research, the Peppers family owns some kind of contracting, commercial grading company in Loganville. And this is their family plot. It seems like there used to be a house here. Maybe there was a house, and on the land they planned a family cemetery. The house is now gone, but I wanted to come here today to show you this because it's off the beaten path. It's not on any map, and it's horrible when these kind of things, get taken over by nature and uncared for. And I wanted to show you a couple of the gravestones, kind of talk about what kind of coins, what kind of money, and they would have used back then, and also kind of what they would have bought, like prices and stuff, just to get a kind of glimpse of how life was during their time. This is the grave of Larry Washington Peppers. He was born in 1890, died in 1956. This is the grave site of Hugh D. Peppers. You can see his grave and his wife's graves. So they were also born around 1888, 1886. And we'll look up the kind of lifestyle they had and the kind of coins and lives they lived back then. This is the grave site of B. Cleveland Peppers. And these were the first two people buried here. James Washington Peppers and Emmer Peppers, born in 1857 and 1865. Wow. And this is a grave of D. Montine Hardesty, 1892 to 1916. So it gives us a good time about when this cemetery was built. So I'm guessing this monolith is over 100 years old. So about 108 years old, maybe, if they were built at the same time as these graves were dug. The monolith here, right in the center of the family cemetery, is breathtaking. It's probably a good 30 feet tall, and you would have to really be here to really feel its presence. But I'm pretty sure you can see in good detail in this video just the height and the size of it. And it looks like a tree recently fell, but luckily it missed it only by a foot. And the way the sun shines right on the center of it is just beautiful. For the second half of this video, I'm going to use three people as points of references. One, James Washington Peppers, born 1857, married Elmer Folker, 1883, died 1941. 2, Larry Washington Peppers, born 1890, married Betsy Garnett, 1921, died 1956. And 3, Jack Hugh Peppers, born 1925, died 2004, and I believe he is the father to Jason Peppers, who owns J.H. Peppers and Associates. Here are some of the coins that would have been used between the periods of 1850 and 1921. In the early 1800s to mid-1800s, there was some weird coinage. That's why I chose this time period. By 1932, most of the coins were standardized. Here are some 1857 prices for necessities, like rent. For a 4 to 6 room tenement was about $4 to $8 a month. Adjusted for inflation, that's $140 to $240, but that was for a 300 to 400 small room with no luxury. While those numbers are astonishing, you still have to consider there is no running electricity, probably no running water, and definitely no internet. On this property was most likely a single family home or homestead like you see pictured here. Here are the grocery prices for 1857. What caught my eye was eggs. Eggs were 20 cents a dozen, and adjusted for inflation, that's about $7 a dozen. And that's really not that bad when you think about they were eating the equivalent of today's cage-free, free-range brown eggs, which go for about $7. And here's the prices for provisions like meat. You see beef was 11 cents. Adjusted for inflation, that's about $4 a pound. So that's about average. And here are some of the toys from the mid to late 1800s. Here you can see an 1857 ad for pocket watches. That was the equivalent of an iPhone today. It was how they told time. Also, if they got in a pinch, they could sell it. These are love tokens. They were popular between the mid to late 1800s, and it was a way of a beau or a boy to give a love token to a girl he loved, and they would usually use silver, the precious metal, as a precious token, and they were usually the seated Liberty dimes. And last but not least, the inflation numbers I promised. From 1857 to 1883, when James married Elmer, total inflation was 16%. From 1888 to 1890, when Larry was born, inflation actually dropped to a total of 4% from 1857. From 1857 to 1925, when Jack was born, inflation doubled. Probably as a result of World War I, the Spanish flu, the creation of the Federal Reserve, and the pre-market rally before the Great Depression. By 1956, when Larry Washington died, inflation had went out of control and had tripled. By 2004, when Jack died, inflation had grown 21-fold. And now in 2024, inflation has grown 34-fold. And in 167 years, inflation has went up 4,000% total. That's crazy. Hey, if you would like to take a further look at any of the coins shown in our videos, go to eBay and type silver_garage in the eBay search bar. Purchasing from our eBay store helps fund this YouTube channel.